So, and she was like, would be cool if there was like an Uber or Airbnb for models. And I was like, yeah, it would be cool. Shall we start it?
Hey guys, welcome to the UpNext podcast, where we are interviewing teen entrepreneurs that are making it big time in the startup world. We are asking the questions we know you want to hear. UpNext is an app made for teens where anyone can join or build a real life startup.
Okay, so today we have Mariya Grinina. Did I say that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, age 25, from Kazakhstan, based in London currently. The company that she's founded is called iDAL, talent management platform empowering talent to build successful careers by providing them with all of the necessary digital tools, as well as agent support to manage their work and connect with reputable clients. You founded this when you were 22. You started working at it at age 21. Mariya, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much summarizing my journey.
Okay, great. So let's get right into it. How did you know that your idea will work?
Well, you never know that, but you bet on it. I think I found this idea through my friend, actually. We were studying together at university. We studied journalism, and she was a supermodel, not supermodel, amazing, really good model. And she was in one of the best agencies in the world. And she managed to make her living through modeling, since 14 up until 20 something. And without modeling, she actually would never be able to fund her education. And that was really inspiring to me. The girl, she made it on her own to London. And that showed to me that, whoa, modeling can be pretty serious and can really change people's life and have their life in a much more positive light as a result. And it was her idea when she was like, oh, I wish I could model now as well to get some pocket money. But I can't be with a big agency because they would put a lot of pressure on me in terms of I would have to work when they say, and I wouldn't be able to study. So, and she was like, would be cool if there was like an Uber or Airbnb for models. And I was like, yeah, it would be cool. Shall we start it? And she didn't want to start it because she wanted to be a journalist. And I was like, okay, I'll do that myself. And how I thought that the idea will work is that I basically started speaking to more people about it. And that's what I recommend to everybody to do. Never be afraid of people stealing your idea. And people started giving really good feedback, especially models. And I was like, well, if models want it, why don't I just do it? And here I am.
Yep.
But like concept is no longer like that. I'll tell you later about it. It's not an Uber for models, but that's how it started.
Okay, great. So that is that's great advice to pass on, that you just need to ask a bunch of people, especially the audience that you're looking to provide for. Hey, is this something that you would use? And everyone's like, yeah, totally. So that's a great starting point. Who do you consider your first mentor, and what did they help you go through?
Well, I have two first mentors whom I started working with pretty much from the early days. Mm-hmm. And again, I think without them, I wouldn't be able to get anywhere. And I highly recommend everybody having a mentor. Obviously, the best mentor possible, which I had. One of my friends at the time was a Goldman Sachs partner, and I told him about this idea when I wasn't taking it seriously, at all. And he was like, well, if you actually take it seriously and do a cool business plan, I'll invest in it and attract more people. And I was like, sounds like a great opportunity, but I have no idea about investment or business or anything on that side at all. So I learned everything on YouTube, and I got with another friend who used to work for him in Goldman. And he was appointed my mentor. But I consider both of them my mentors because both of them have taught me so much. And the younger guy, who became my really close mentor for 2 years, he taught me a lot on business side, but also helped me psychologically and emotionally to go through all the problems and issues and downs in the best possible way. So basically somebody who you would call when you doubt or when you're in trouble. While the other guy became my investor and mentor as well, to whom I had less access because he's very busy. But every mentorship session that I would get with him was also extremely useful. And still till today, he's my main investor and gives mentorship sessions to me. I mean, at least once a month, but sometimes more often when I need that.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like you had the best of both worlds, a really
Oh, yeah.
professionalized one and like a rock that you could lean on for.
Exactly. The second mentor was, he's an entrepreneur and really active entrepreneur right now. So having somebody who is going through the same thing but is further ahead in the journey is really useful as well, because they can definitely give a really important advice.
Yeah, showing off their wisdom. That's always great to take advantage of. So how much time did it take for you to build the product that you launched?
Well, it really depends on what you call a launch. So before I incorporated and found a co-founder and raised my first money, I was working for a year on the idea, but not like obviously full time from morning to evening. I was still studying at uni, and I was working in a radio station and magazine called Monocle. So there I spent the year just preparing myself, learning and researching. Then in February 2018, by that time I found a co-founder and we started the company. In March we started fundraising, so we couldn't really launch without money. I mean, if I was more experienced, maybe I would be able to, but back then we thought we need to build that platform in order to show any progress. And that's why it took us about like maybe, well, 3 months fundraising, 6 months building the first MVP and talking to models, showing is looking how it looks like. And I would say then 9 months, but meaning to an extremely bad, really ugly platform with 20 models and no clients using it, if that is considered a launch.
Well, it's a first time thing, so yeah.
Yeah, that's but even now on the launch topic, because I've the platform was called Finda before, and we relaunched it under a new brand iDAL in May last year. So even right now we consider ourselves in soft launch, and the public launch will be later in summer when we release the platform fully to everybody, because right now we only allow it for private use.
Okay, great. So you started talking about the whole, we need money to raise funding, to build the platform, to make it, look the way we want it to. So how much money was needed to build the first version, and what would you recommend to those who are flat broke and don't have the money?
Well, my case wasn't the easiest or the most straightforward. I just happened to be really good at networking and finding investors. So first money, we raised 200,000 and it lasted us a year. And it did allow us to launch and get the first kind of clients that would use the platform and be paying clients, but there were very few of them. So it was 200,000, but the project is pretty big and really like difficult to take off. But if I didn't have money, I'm not sure I would do it. But now with the experience I have,
Yes.
I would start with like a Wix landing page, and I would write there what is it that is going to be here, and I would start collecting I would start collecting a mailing list. So I would invite people, if you would like to use it, please sign up and get to know about us first. And this way I would be able to see how many people actually are interested. I would obviously send this link to people who I think are interested, because nobody's going to find it otherwise. And I would see how many people engage, and then I would talk to to future customers, see what they like, what they want me to do, etc., etc. So I basically would engage with my future customers for free, which will increase my chances later on to actually raise funding. Because if you go to investors and say, look, I got 500 models, I want to join this platform, can you give me the money? It's like much easier to ask when you have like nothing. So do that. Mm.
It seems like a lot more serious. I already have the people, just give me the funding. So I love the theoretical way that you would build it. How did you literally get those first users? What was that like?
Literally, it was like network. It's just like if my close friend was model, so I would ask her for her friends,
Right.
and her friends would bring more friends, etc., etc. Because like in the end of the day, I'm working with one community of one same profession, so they all know each other, especially in one city. So first 20 would be like from personal network. Then I would go, we did like one event, in-person event, where we would invite them so that they can invite their friends. And then we were doing events every month, where we would meet up with more models and just share like what we do, and then host a bit of community circles. So basically we took this event kind of strategy. Right now it won't work either. So back then it was really good. And I think we grew to 150 models within a year, but really without providing them work yet. So it was all based on the idea. And well, since then, our problem on these types of users has switched towards more like we have way too many applications. And we definitely don't want to do referrals or anything, because we more struggle with having way too many applications, but in trying to flick through them to get quality kind of selection. So yeah, it's just our particular industry that is like that.
Okay, nice. What's one mistake that you would avoid?
Well, I definitely now know how to spend 3 times less money on building technology than 4 years, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not sure you can know until you've already built that. So I'm not sure if we can consider that mistake. It could be more like
Something you learned
I could
from.
go back. Yeah, but without this learning, I wouldn't be able to think that way either. So, and other mistakes, well, I hear it all the time in like YouTube videos from really like big entrepreneurs, what they say about PR agencies, like never spend money on them. And you're like, oh, well, it's them. I'll spend money on them smartly. And like, no. Honestly, I don't understand how still PR agencies work and why they still have clients. But it's really like such a huge waste of money, especially if you get a retainer with them.
Yeah.
Because if your product is amazing, journalists will knock on your door and everybody will come to you and everybody will want to write about you. But if you want to pay somebody to write about you, probably it's not going to happen, because only shitty publications will write about you because they do it for money. But those who are amazing, they don't do it for money. So how much money you spend on the PR agency doesn't matter. You're not going to get that. So I wouldn't do that, basically.
Yeah, nice way of looking at it. If it really is, if the product's good enough, people will talk about it regardless. And we have so many platforms nowadays where you can show off what you have for pretty much nothing or nothing at all before going to an agency to do that for you. So
I don't think you even need to go to the agency. Because literally, like, good journalists will reach out to you because they'll see you. Like, that's their job. Literally, they're looking for you every day. So if you're any good, they'll find you.
That's right. I agree. What are 3 traits that you look for in a business partner, co-founder type?
Well, it's a good topic because I've had 2 co-founders, and we switched them. Just we had to reshape the company to a different direction. Well, I would say that before finding a co-founder, if you're sole founder in the beginning and it was your idea and you're trying to see how to be in a team, is to identify where you're most weak at and find a person who is good at those things that you're bad at. And especially those things that are really important to your business. Those that aren't important, probably that they don't matter. So I had technical co-founder first, and it was amazing because we managed to build a platform much easier in terms of like there was a person in the team who could accept feedback of users straight away and build that, and it was great. But in my industry, which I identified only 2 years into business, relationships matter way more than technology. Because technology, yes, it takes time, etc., but we can do that with money. Whereas we cannot generate revenue if we don't have the right relationships. And so I had to spot that earlier. Again, experience. And now I have a co-founder with the best possible relationships, and it made my life so much easier. Um, and that's only one thing, of course, like him having skills that you don't have or things that you don't have. The other thing is obviously relationships between you two, because it's like marriage. You're gonna spend so much time together.
That's what I always say to everyone that talks about co-founders.
Of course, because yeah, you literally you talk to him more than to anybody else sometimes,
Right.
and you need to be able to have complete harmony, respect each other, a complete transparency. You know you can rely on him. I mean, all of these skills that you look in a husband or wife, they like all of those feelings. They need to be there, except for the emotional part. And I mean, I'm so blessed, so grateful, have it all. Like it's amazing what's I have between me and my co-founder. So yeah, it's basically find a really good person who knows how to do all things you don't know how to do them.
Yeah, that maybe also has the opposite traits that you do, since
Yeah,
opposites attract.
exactly.
So being so young, doing what you do, this is a really original platform. I loved reading about it. One advantage and one disadvantage that you found being so young in this industry.
Well, advantage is that I'm actually probably the youngest um, model agency and kind of business owner in the world,
Right.
which allows me to shape an agency in a completely different way because I have no idea how it actually works in a real agency, which is a plus and a minus, but I see it more as a plus because I speaking to so many agents and to so many people in the industry, you can see how stuck they are in the past and they don't want to change or they don't believe it's possible because they're used to the existing process. Whereas I can be like, well, things can be completely different. What about that? And they're like, oh, this is great. Like those who want to listen. And I like that I don't know that much about the industry because that allows me to innovate. And the minus is, of course, is lack of relationships in the industry and lack of like a track record that they can show off to people and to get their attention straight away. But that's what my co-founder has. So now we're pretty much,
So it evens out. Yeah.
yeah, completely evens out.
Yeah, that's great. What is a tech tool that you can't go without? Some kind of app or a website?
Well, app or a website? Well, I think all my tech tools are interchangeable. Usually, I can. I'm not getting too stuck to one. If I need to change, I'm okay with that. But there are resources that are really essential. So, like Business of Fashion, for example, and their app is really important to me. But with all these Zooms, Telegrams, Slacks, Microsoft apps, anything, whatever, I don't care.
Just have a way to communicate. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now where we can't leave the house barely.
Yeah.
So which entrepreneurs inspire you the most these days?
Well, a lot of them, especially my friends. But out of famous ones, I really like founder of Glossier, Emily Ways, because she is. I mean, I love Glossier. I'm a user of it. I love the concept. I love how they use social media to sell, and it's completely. It's not like so like the perfect and made up. It's more like real, and even like buying their cosmetics is so much easier. So I'm really inspired about what she's built. But also, I love that her image. I mean, obviously, I don't know her, but her image that is visible on online is really chilled in terms of like she is opposed to this typical Silicon Valley entrepreneur kind of vibe. Right. They like say that they have to work in the office and die in the office and sleep in the office and all about their life is at work. Whereas I don't think so, and that's why I like seeing some beautiful women who are having life apart from having a startup. So that's
That's
why.
very true. I've been seeing that a lot lately, actually, that people are like, stop encouraging the hustle. You can take a day off. If you're sick, stay home. Like, we're not impressed that you're working until like you're
Yeah, we're not impressed by that. We actually think you're gonna burn out pretty soon, and we are
yeah,
worried.
kind of irresponsible even.
Yeah.
I love that you picked a female entrepreneur. I'm sad to say that this is probably the first time I've
Oh,
heard.
really? That's crazy. No, it's, I mean, it's for me. Of course, I'm inspired by Elon Musk, like, or all the famous
That's
guys,
the
but well, I can't relate to them. I can't have like the same vision of life, so it's easier for me to relate to a girl. Yeah, and I actually have something to say about it, but I'm not sure if I can promote. I can say it again, and you can cut it out.
We can cut it out. I'd be happy to hear though.
Oh, I can say it now, and you can cut it out.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm actually doing. I am creating courses now for young entrepreneurs, girls, because
So cool.
when I'm completely self-taught, and when I was learning how to be an entrepreneur, how like to do business plan, pitch deck, or any of those things, I learned on YouTube and Udemy. And everybody was a guy there, like everybody, and I like literally like never ever saw a girl. And if I see any programs for women, then they would be run by like 50 plus years old women who would more speak about leadership and huge global companies, etc. Again, unrelatable to me. So I was bored during lockdown, and I needed to do something else. So I've created a foundation course for girls that I'm going to launch soon. So hopefully it will be interesting for you guys.
That is so cool. It actually sounds amazing. Like we're also, at UpNext, of course, doing courses and explanatory videos, and I am one of the women that you will see speaking there. And I'm sure that we could do something together. We could manage. I'd love to be a spokesperson. So next question. Which trait do you feel is your weakest and that you need to outsource it by maybe another person or a programming device?
Well, a lot of them. Like, I actually found that the best things happen when I outsource it to somebody else. I know what I'm good at. I'm good at that communication. I'm good at putting plan together and vision and mission and like speaking to investors, raising money. Like that's my top skill probably, and leading the team, managing the team, etc. But like day-to-day tasks or creative or tech, anything like that. I mean, I can do that. It will take me a long time, or I can tell my team and it will take them much shorter time. So
Yeah.
I outsource most of the things I'm not good at.
Yeah, you're better with words, presenting, talking to people. I totally agree. I think that would be my strength as well. So let's say I am an average teen looking to build my startup and I have $100. What or where or how would you tell me to use that money?
Well, if it is something, not even tech wise, I think it might be applicable to everybody. These days, money isn't that big of an issue. There are a lot of people looking to invest into young and very ambitious companies. But of course, they want to know how serious you are and how committed you are and how big is your idea, etc. So I would spend this money on like first, I mean, maybe $20 on educating yourself, because you need to definitely know how to create a business idea, how to like create a legitimate presentation that will deliver your message, or how to find the right people, etc. And then I would spend the other part on creating something that would be close to a MVP, or proof of concept. Not like, unless you want to build a car company and you need a car prototype, that probably is not possible. But if you want to create a platform or an app or anything. Again, create just like a Wix landing page and start acquiring future customers, because having future customers and their feedback, that's what helps you to shape your idea into a better product, and also speak to potential co-founders, advisors, investors, etc. So that's probably the best money spent in the beginning.
Great. That was a very specified answer, which I like, that we took the $100 and we moved it around and we didn't just throw it at one thing. We got 2 bonus questions for you. So how important is it, in your opinion, for young entrepreneurs to think about social change when creating a business?
I think that not only it is important, it is also natural. According to lots of things that are on the internet now about Gen Z, and I'm like last Gen Z kind of a year, we do care about social impact, because we do see the impact of what that our parents' generation has had on the world, and we, because of social media, we also see how much power we have. So using that power to just like do nothing doesn't make sense, or do evil things. So I think it is definitely important, but it's also really easy to do these days if you want to.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that the word natural was like really surprising, but also very, like, really logical. Like, of course it's natural. Things should, these kind of things should really come hand in hand. So last question, if you could have any superpower in the world, what would you pick?
well, I want to transform from place to place like that.
That's what I always
Can I
say.
just do that? Yes. Because all this travel, long time, is complicated.
And also having the luxury of traveling and being there.
Yeah, especially now, it would be amazing.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
No one would notice. Okay, so Mariya, it was great getting to know you and your product. It sounds really innovative, really amazing. I loved reading about it. If I was a model, I'd totally be on there. And I can't wait to see what you do next. I hope we can talk again soon.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks.